I had a stunning 12 days in El Salvador, but now it's time to visit Guatemala, and I'm on my way over the border via a shuttle bus, and I'm going to hang out in Antigua and then hike the Acatenango Volcano to see Fuego, Guatemala's most famous active volcano. In this vlog, you'll see what it is like to climb the Acatenango Volcano and what you can expect to see when you get to the top. Truly, it is magical.
Wow.
Hi there, I'm James. I almost despise tough hikes, but I had to do this whilst in Antigua. I've been promised great views, and to be honest, my biggest worry is my dodgy hip. So let's see how I get on. The Guatemalan border control was a dream, and we were over the border within minutes. A top tip here is to ask your driver to swap your dollars for Guatemalan quetzales, which is the local currency. You'll get a great rate. Now it is full steam ahead to Antigua, the city. I actually stayed a few days here before and after my hike, but that episode will be next on this channel. But for now, let's fast forward to the hike. It's the day of the volcano, and it's a beautiful day. Clear blue skies. It's going to be mid-20s today, which is good going up because it'll get colder as we go up. I'm slightly nervous, can't consume breakfast. I just need to get there, meet the group, get to the start point and get going. Been thinking about this for 3 or 4 days now, probably even the whole trip. I'm new to this point. This is going to be the main challenge. So looking forward to getting up there, seeing the views, getting it done. But I'm looking forward to seeing some awesome volcanic action. I mean, where can you see that in the world? This won't be the first one I've done. I did hike up the Yasa volcano in Tana in Vanuatu, so that's the first one we did. That was a bit hairy, more for safety concerns, not for the hike up. This will be a much tougher task going up. First of all, Nick was staying in Central Hostel, so we booked the tour through his hostel, and we had no idea who the tour company was or what it would be like, but the cost was 300 quetzales, and that included transportation, meals, a 3-litre bottle of water, accommodation, guides, and extra clothing if we needed. The Acatenango volcano hike is a challenging trek to the summit of a 13,000 feet volcano, or 3,976 meters, from which you can see the active Fuego volcano in the distance. This hike will take 4 to 6 hours up, and it'll be overnight, so we'll stay in huts and then hike back down the next day. They picked us up at 9:30 a.m. and we're off in our minivan, which barely fit the whole group. We arrived at the starting point, and I did start to worry a little bit. They gave us a 3-litre bottle of water and had no space left in my bag, which also had to house my lunch. For some reason, I thought they'd give us the litre bottles as we go on the hike, but no, we had to carry it all. I quickly realised I needed a bigger backpack, and you can actually rent one from the company for 50 quetzales, which I did, and after finishing the packing admin and paying 5 quetzales to use their toilet and also rent some hiking poles, we're off to the start. I'm definitely slightly nervous due to my problems with the hip in the last year or so, especially as I'm carrying a lot of weight, and I don't just mean my body. However, the first initial impressions of the hike were steep as we made our way to the first big break. It was a hot day with sun cream and a hat, much needed. The ground was also quite soft, which you would expect from a volcanic trail. We had some cool views before settling for a much needed lunch stop. This hike is already quite brutal. After lunch we carried on, but as a group we stopped quite often. I was absolutely knackered at the stop, just resting against my bag. But can you believe this? There are offers for 500 quetzales for a truck lift to the top, but beware, this does not take you all the way to the camp. No one said yes in this group, but some did in other groups. This corner here shows you the gradient, which has been the same for hours on end. Finally, we reached the end of the uphill trail, which was a relief. The trail levels out until the final climb to the campsite, and at this point, we're pretty high up.
I'm minutes away from base camp, and that is a view behind me. That is the volcano. Wow, what a view. smoke will come out of that during the night, so I'm looking forward to the nighttime views. I am done. That was a brutal hike, as you can see. But I'm looking forward to getting to the camp, put my feet up, and having a coke. Vamos.
There she is, Fuego. With clear skies, we will get lucky with views tonight, I reckon. I just need to see the volcano erupt now, and the tough hike will be worth it. Oh my days, there she goes. Absolutely stunning. This is incredible. We made it to the campsite area and just look at these views. We were absolutely starstruck. As a group, we stared in awe at Fuego and enjoyed the sights and sounds. The tremble of eruption and then the sound of explosion were incredible. I haven't seen anything like it before. The accommodation for our group was basic: 1 room, 2 bunks and 1 single bed. Everyone had to sleep next to each other. I luckily grabbed the single bed, but it was next to a door and the wall, so it could get chilly in the night. The toilet, however, was grim. You do have the offer to hike further up the volcano to Fuego for an extra 200 quetzales. I would say it's not worth it, but I'll save this conversation with my friend Nick on my Winging It Travel podcast, as he did do the climb and has some interesting thoughts on it. Despite the rustic conditions, the day turned to night and we were treated to these scenes. It was so cold, but these views made it worth it. Here are some cool snaps from the eruptions as well.
Wow.
Wow. We were huddled around this fire for dinner as the temperature was below 0. But now it's time for bed, warmth and a much needed rest on the legs. Next morning is an early start at 5 AM and sunrise was upon us. Can you beat a sunrise to start the day? It was amazing to be above the cloud, and especially when you see these peaks tower above it. Fuego did continue to erupt throughout the night and this morning every 15 minutes. One eruption was so strong in the night that it blew our door open, and I'm constantly in awe of this view. After breakfast, we packed our stuff up and headed down the volcano to the start point from yesterday. The hike down was quick at around 3 hours. Our group was desperate to get a move on for a coffee or a beer to reflect on the hike and the views. Again, if you need a lift, you can get one here.
If you want a lift down there, that is £50 in that truck. If you want a lift. As we made our way down, I reflected on the hike. It was bloody tough. The constant uphill yesterday for 5 hours straight is tough on the legs due to the soft ground, and tough on the mind due to its relentlessness. But when you get to the top, it is so worth it. The views of Fuego are almost a once in a lifetime opportunity, as I couldn't do that hike again. But since January this year, Fuego has not erupted, so I got fortunate, and I hope this doesn't mean a big eruption in the future. My last one big tip here is to go with a reputable company and don't risk booking this through your hostel like we did. We ended up with Barco Expeditions, who are not rated that well on Google, who I thought actually were not that great at all. The guides relied on us to translate, which is not great in an emergency. The accommodation was basic. Their behaviour on the Fuego hike is questionable, and the toilet at the top is worse than Glastonbury at day 3. I would choose Ox Expeditions if you can whilst in Antigua, but you will need to book in advance. But to finish, we returned to Antigua to enjoy some much needed rest, and Nick and I reflected on a hike with a great group of people and stunning views. We were incredibly lucky to see this majestic phenomenon in Fuego, and I say goodbye to my friend Nick, and I'll see you in Antigua in the next video. Adios. Wow. Please follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel today, and let's go and see the world. Cheers, Hamo.